Oh,
All
yeah.
right, we're going to go ahead and get started. You know, this is, as we said, we are focusing on the Black movement at Cal State Long Beach by way of celebrating and recognizing Black History Month that was started by Carter G. Woodson in February of 1926. A lot of people want to know how he chose February because it was the birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Lincoln, I believe it was, and that's why he chose it. Second, there's a lot of efforts to close for the federal government not to recognize Black History Month, and they're taking it off of a lot of federal calendars. But Carter G. Woodson started Negro History Week. And he didn't ask the government. This was something that he pushed. And just like Kwanzaa, they didn't ask the government. Kwanzaa is a global activity now. And so Black History Month is a liberating and global activity. We don't care if they don't want to recognize it. We didn't ask them to. Matter of fact, the government's white anyway. You know, go celebrate white history at the same time. That's why they call it the White House. You understand? I mean, for white folks, that's good. And we recognize that because we just want to establish, as Carter G. Woodson goal was, to establish the fact that we're part of the human family as an African people, and we made contributions before we came to America, made contributions once we got here. Even in the Holocaust of enslavement, we was making contributions. And but at the same time, we was making contributions throughout history, from prehistory to ancient history to modern day history. And so we celebrated because of the demonization that this society has put on us, as far as the relevancy of our history, while at the same time, um, through our experience in their education system, it was mandatory that we take their history, their version of history, his story, in other words, and accept it as a special truth or the truth that's supposed to represent us. I mean, they had us thinking that we came over here on the Mayflower, as Malcolm would say, that we can't, they just excluded so much important information, but that's not it. We don't just focus on what they did to us. We focus on what we did for society, humanity, and ourselves. The creations, the innovations, the music, the dance, the spirituality, all those dynamics. We did some on the continent, some in other places because of our diaspora being dispersed all over the world. You know, you can't take away you can't take Jamaican history and act like that's not Black history. You can't take Haitian history and act like that's not Black history. Because we're dealing with it from a racial perspective, and that's very important. So we look at that, and we look at history. We learn from its life lessons, the positives and the negatives. That's very important for us to get an understanding of it. And it's not just learning your history, it's using it as a resource to make you a better person. Let me explain that. A lot of people refer to Black history. Some even want to change it to Black Heritage Month. What's that about? You know, history is our record of our contributions to our development as a people, and our record of shaping the world into our image and interest, and our record of contributing to the betterment of the world as a whole. People benefit from our innovativeness. They benefit from the red light and stop light that Brother Morgan brought forth. They benefit from the open heart surgery of William Hale. They benefit from Lattimore's filament in the light bulb. They benefited from the potato chip. They benefit from all the other scientific innovations. The world have benefited from our contribution, but they want us just to focus on making them the center of our history by talking about what they did, where they enslaved you, and they did that. But in spite of all of that, we got out of it. It was supposed to be forever, but we got out. Our ancestors got out, and we built from that point on. And we become the top in their entertainment field. We become the top in their political fields. We become the top in their music, music, sports, and whatever they did that they allowed us to participate in, we became excellent in. So we look at our history as our record, and from a racial standpoint, that means all Black people all around the world is a part of our contribution. When we go and sit at the table of cultural contributions, we don't go up there and be naked. We bring forth all the innovative things that we did. And by way of recognizing Black History Month, we was focusing on our struggle to bring into being a new dynamic with regards to the African American movement, Black movement in America, and by way of recognizing the role of Haiti being the first independent Black country that set up its own sovereignty. And, of course, the system backlashed on them. French in America boycotted embargoes, forcing them to pay reparations. Like Lincoln proposed to pay the South. They did pay reparations to Southern enslavers, but they wouldn't give us reparations, and they still haven't.